So we had a great assembly in Kilkenny, almost 250 people from all around the country, local synodal teams all came together. The first, if you like, purpose of the assembly was to gather all those people together so that we could reflect together on the discernment that had taken place since spring. And so what we were doing is we were offering that back to all the delegates, saying, you know, this is what we've heard. This is the judgment we've made on everything that has been said ever since, you know, the Synodal Pathway began. So that was the first thing, and we had a conversation, a really beautiful and powerful conversation of the Spirit around that. And I think at that moment there was a lot of positivity, a lot of hope. People could see that this is a good way to move, because we're focusing on baptism, we're focusing on what it means to belong to the church, what it means to be a Christian, what it means to be in mission, what it means to have the same dignity as everybody else. You know, and it doesn't matter whether you're a bishop, priest, layperson, that by virtue of our baptism, we possess this equal dignity, which gives us a right and a duty to be co-responsible for the life of the church. And so there was great positivity and great hope around that, I think. Then we moved into the afternoon, which was about the National Synodal team proposing certain steps forward. You know, where do we go from this? Because obviously we don't want to be talking and listening forever. We have to move towards making decisions about the future of the life of the church. I think at that stage people began to feel a little bit, you know, maybe a little bit uncertain about the future, a little bit of anxiety maybe around it. Some people, for example, felt that maybe the issues that were important to them weren't sufficiently addressed in the priorities. Others felt maybe that the priorities didn't go far enough to address, you know, the change that's necessary in the life of the church in Ireland. And so some of those concerns were expressed in Kilkenny and were raised from the floor. And I think as a synodal team, we will now have to address those. You know, we certainly will have to address those because they're legitimate concerns. I think also we will want to encourage local synodal teams on accompanying the next stage of our process, you know. And the next stage of the process for the Irish Synodal Pathway is very much about going deeper into these priorities. Each of these priorities needs to be studied. We need to gather data and experience around these priorities that we can then begin to propose actions, you know, propose ways in which the church in Ireland can actually move forward. Almost as if we can say, you know, by October next year when we gather again in a National Synodal Assembly, that this is our action plan now for the church in Ireland.